So I think everyone would agree with me if I say buying a $500 toaster is a bad idea. Because basically, all toasters toast bread. There's no need to spend that much money on a toaster. However, if I were to say that buying a $50,000 car is never a necessity, people would basically say, hey, Tommy, wait, now we're talking too much, okay? Because although cars are just for getting from point A to point B, there are some other things you're interested in a car. For example, is it reliable? I need it to go to work. I want to feel safe in it. It's for my family, so comfort is super important. It needs to be a nice car overall, and I need to know it's going to keep running without a bunch of problems. And when you say that, it's logical. It is a very fair thing to actually say. Now, if I told those same people with those objections, if I got you a car like that for $20,000, would you buy it? People would say, with all those features, yeah, would you buy it? The answer would probably be like, yes. What if I got it for you, not for $20,000, but instead just for $15,000? Would you buy it then? The answer would be like, yeah, of course, because now it's even cheaper and it gives me everything I want. So why wouldn't I buy it? It just makes sense. It's just logical. However, the car people usually describe, which is basically, I need a car to fit my family in, that's going to be comfortable, that's going to be reliable, that basically is going to keep running like for a long time, that I feel secured in. People are usually going to be describing, no joke, a Honda Odyssey or like a minivan. Those are the most reliable cars. But guess what? Most people don't want to drive a minivan, all right? Including myself. However, this video that I just basically made and this topic that brought to me by the online people, okay? The idea is it made me also change my mindset on this and to actually rethink my position, because when you're asking for certain things and what you're asking you're getting and you still don't want it, then obviously it's not about any of what you mentioned prior. It's just that basically what you really want is a fancy car that you like and people are going to look at. And that's the truth. If you get everything you want that I just mentioned before for $15,000, then why not get that instead of a $50,000 vehicle? Now, don't get me wrong. There is a way to still get that car, and I'll go more into detail later on in this video. Now, if you guys don't know me, my name is TommyBryson, and let's get right into this video, and also like this video. Now, the very first thing, guys, is I want you to actually sit down and be honest with yourself and ask yourself, this vehicle that I want to buy, am I buying it because I need something reliable or because I want something fancy, okay? And either one is a good answer, it is fine. But you have to be honest with your priorities, because if you start to mix these together, that's how people basically end up, for example, with a Mercedes because they need a family car or some nonsense like that, okay? So you want to be very careful. So if it's for reliability, say reliability. If it's more for like fun and so on, then say for more like fun and so on. But if you need a car, for example, because, hey, I need a car for utility, okay, for use. Well, I have kids or I have to worry about commute or convenience or whatever it is, then look into cars that are actually reliable. And don't go based on what you think in your head. Go based on surveys and statistics, okay? And statistics and surveys basically show, and research shows, that the best, most reliable cars, don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to get a minivan, but it is true. Those cars are great. They're going to be Toyotas, Hondas, and also Mazdas. Those are the best cars overall when it comes to quality, reliability, and also safety. Yes, Teslas, they score very high in safety. But do you need to spend $50,000 to $100,000 in a car? The answer is absolutely not, especially when you can't afford one. And you just can't say, well, this one has good reliability rating, and on top of that, it's also electricity, I'll save money on gas. But you can't tell me that you can justify spending an extra $40,000 to save money on gas. It just doesn't make sense, okay? At that point, you're making excuses, and that's why I'm telling you, separate what you want, okay? Do you want something because you really need it, or do you just want something for fun? You gotta be honest, okay? And by the way, do not be afraid to buy a car with over 100,000 miles on it, all right? Because if you're getting a reliable car, they usually last between 200 to 300,000 miles. So if you buy a car with 100,000 miles, you can still get out of it like around 150. That's easily like around 10 to 15 more years of car use, okay? There's a lot more life in that car. And don't be afraid to buy used vehicles, because at the end of the day, if you buy a used vehicle that's 5 years old and you're saving like 50%, let's say $25,000, there is no way that you're gonna spend $25,000 on car repairs. It's just not real, okay? It's not realistic, all right? So it's always going to make more sense to buy a used, good, reliable car, all right? Now, the second question you want to ask yourself is basically, what's my budget? If you want to get a $50,000 car, you could get it based on your income, maybe based on your savings. You know, if you go to the bank, they'll probably give you the money, no problem. But that's not how you actually want to judge if you should buy something or not. You never want to use the bank as a judge if you could buy something, because the bank is only interested in making money off of you. Now, the best car is going to be the car you can pay for in cash. Why, Tommy? Because car payments suck. Cars are terrible investments, and overall, it's going to cost you a lot of money when you're taking out car notes, okay? It's like taking out a note or like a loan against your income. Taking out $500 to $700 every single month for 5 years is a long time. That is 60 months. 60 times they take $500 off of your check every time you get paid. Do not make that trade. The best car is going to be the car you can pay for in cash. So far, okay, we have, what do we want? Something for utility, something for fun. If it is for utility, okay, great. Now, what is my budget? The car I can pay for in cash. Or, for example, on top of that, no more than half of your annual income. So if you make $50K a year, don't spend more than $25K in a car. You can't afford it. It's not your priority. Or if you have a super high net worth, well, no more than 10% of your net worth. That's the idea, okay? The point is, okay, guys, even if you're getting, for example, a fancy car because you want a fancy car, that's fine. But now you're looking at cars within your budget that you can actually pay for in cash. That's what I want you to be. I want you to be honest. So if you make $100K a year and you want to buy a $50,000 car, no big deal. As long as you can pay for it in cash, okay? That's the idea. So if you can't, then don't consider taking out a loan for 5 years. I mean, imagine how much money you would have in 5 years if you grabbed that same $500 or $700 and invested it at a 10% return in the stock market. It would be a lot better off, okay? Rather do that than put my money in a car. And at the end of the 5 years, I have a car that's worth like 50% less. It's a very dumb idea. Don't do it. Now, the last thing I want you to consider is basically your exit strategy. Yes, I said exit strategy. Now, what is your exit strategy exactly, okay? It's okay to buy a car you don't like that much. And by the way, there's this concept and this idea out there that everything you do you have to like. The car you drive, you have to like it. No, it's a car, okay? You have to have a reliable car. And if you don't like the car you have, but it's a car you can afford, it's the best car possible because it's the one you can afford, okay? It doesn't matter. So it's not about likes, it's also about utility and where you are with your budget. That is super important. It's not just, well, I don't like this car, it's ugly. It doesn't matter, because it's better to get something you don't like now and then work up to something you do like later than get something you like right now and then you go broke. You don't want that, all right? So here is an exit strategy plan. You have two ways to do it, okay? Way number one is you don't have an exit strategy. You're basically trying to buy a car and you're trying to ride that car until the wheels literally fall off, okay? Now, I have something to say here because most people don't realize what they're actually saying when they say, I'm gonna buy this car and use it until the wheels fall off, okay? What this means is not, I'm gonna buy this car, I'm not gonna take care of it, I'm gonna keep riding it until I burn the engine, okay? That's not the point. The point is, you're gonna buy this car, you're gonna take care of it as most as you possibly can, and you're gonna ride it until it can't ride no more. Now, if you followed my rules so far, which is basically, you pick, all right? You want utility, all right? Look for reliability. Something within your budget to pay cash. Now you're at the bottom, okay? Your exit strategy. If you want to ride that car until the wheels fall off, if you buy a Toyota, for example, Corolla. My friend bought a Toyota Corolla for $16,000 with 130,000 miles on it. Those cars run for around 250,000 miles in total, okay, to 300K sometimes. that means she still has on that car potentially like another 120 miles, okay? 120,000 miles. If she drives an average of 12,000 miles a year, that means she still has a good 10 years to go on that car, okay? That is amazing. That is a lot of years. So imagine that, okay? That basically means that per month, this is the crazy thing that people don't talk about, okay? But the longer you keep a car, the less expensive it actually becomes, okay? So again, she paid $16,000 for this car. She's gonna keep it until the wheels fall off. Let's say the wheels fall off in 10 years. Most likely, they won't fall off in 10 years. It lasts longer. So divided by 10, every year this car is costing her an average price around $1,600. Divided by 12, every month, that's only around $133, okay? That is awesome. That is awesome. And by the way, I saw a guy who had this strategy. He actually did it. He's still driving that car. I think it's a 1984, if I'm not mistaken. It is a, no, not 1990 to 1993. And he had, no, it's even older. Oh my goodness, it's an old car, guys. It's an old car. He has 32 years with this Toyota Corolla, and he has over 300,000 miles in this car. And it still drives. And when the transmission went out, he replaced the transmission, okay? So if you're trying to keep a car forever and save the most money, that is definitely doable. Don't think it's not, especially when you get a reliable car. Now, exit strategy number 2, which is one I like a little bit more, is basically you buy the car you can afford to pay for in cash now. You use time to save up a good amount of money, and then you sell the car plus your cash and you buy the car you want, okay? You can go through the cycle over and over again. So let's say, for example, my friend, she paid $16,000 for a Toyota Corolla. Let's say in 3 years, her car is only worth $10,000. But also in 3 years, remember, right? Most people pay how much per month in car payments? Let's say $700 per month in car payments. Well, 3 years times 36, that means $25,000 in savings. Plus $10,000 from her car sale, that's $35,000. Can she afford to pay $30,000 for a car? Well, when she has the money, she can decide if she still wants to spend that much money in a car. But if you have the cash, you have the option to do it. That's one strategy, okay? So you could do that if you want to. So that's the idea, guys, okay? So overall, be honest with what you want. Do you want fancy or do you want reliability? Don't worry about what you like. That's not what this is about. It's a car, okay? Point A to point B. Eventually, you can worry about what you like when you have the cash to do it. 2, make sure you have a good budget. Don't spend more than half your income or 10% of your net worth. Pay cash. Very important. And then 3, have an exit strategy. Is your plan to keep the car until the wheels fall off? Again, that could be 35 years. All right, keep that in mind. Cars do last for a long time. People trade cars every 5 years, guys. These cars that they make these days, they're meant to run for a long time, especially car brands like Toyota, Honda, and Mazda. Those cars, without the turbos, without the direct fuel injection, I think it is. I'm not sure. I'm not a mechanic. But those cars, man, they're meant to run for a very long time. Now, by the way, what does this mean if you're interested in, for example, getting a Ford F-150, a big truck, or a big SUV, and you just can't afford it right now, and you're like, what am I going to do? Again, if you need a Ford F-150, get a used one, okay? And maybe just don't get a Ford. Get whatever you can for the moment until you can afford to get something you like. If you need, for example, something with a lot of space for the family, get a minivan, okay? Get a minivan. You don't need an SUV. Get a minivan, all right? They work just fine. My point is, there's this concept. People love doing this. People love justifying things in their head and saying, well, I need this, because I have this need. But if your need can be fulfilled for a lot cheaper price, do that instead and worry about building your wealth overall. Guys, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching. The answer is yes, you can afford to have a $50,000 car, but only if you can pay for it in cash. And all these things and the criteria actually fit. If you want to watch more content like this, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it a ton. Up here, another video. Thanks for watching. Long-Term Team officially out. Peace.